Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode on my channel. I was gonna say an episode of a certain series, but this isn't a series. Today we're playing some Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a game that came out a year ago, 2 years, a year or 2 years ago, maybe three. I don't know. It came out not long ago. It's a fairly new game, considering the graphics on the game look absolutely phenomenal. This is kind of a review, but not 100%, and it's not really me doing a playthrough unless people wanted me to. This video, I'm just going to be talking about why I think this is it's almost a perfect horror game. It's almost what I think could be the perfect horror game. So in this video, I'll just be talking about why I think this is almost perfect, what's making it not perfect, and what I think a perfect horror game would be. So, anyways, before we get started, when you're doing long things like this, where reviewing a game and you need a lot, and you're tired and you just worked a night shift like I did. Sometimes you need a little bit of dubby, just to get you some energy. So, if you take a look at the link in the description, and I have a code on screen along with some pictures on screen to show you what it looks like. Dubby is just a powdered, healthier alternative for an energy drink that you can place in your Dubby cup because you can order your special. You can order your own one from there, and you shake the whole bottle up, and you got yourself a delicious drink. They just taste like juice, and there's quite a few of them, and they taste pretty good, and they do help. You don't get the jitters with it. Don't do shaking or anything like that. So Dubby's pretty solid drink. I highly recommend it. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so one thing about this game that's pretty amazing is the loading time, I will say. So, before we talk about the horror aspect of the game itself, like its gameplay functions and its graphics are phenomenal. Like, as I say that, I see it completely unrendered rock, but for the most part, the graphics and gameplay are phenomenal. Like, I haven't really had any issues playing this. So, let's just get through this section before I get really too into this and I end up getting brutally murdered by about 1,000 guys, right? So, this game has quite a few features that make the game pretty terrifying, including lots of very interesting sounds. Especially wearing headphones. This is actually my first time playing this game with headphones, which is kind of a shock. I thought I would have played it before with headphones, but I did not. It's also my first experience with headphones on. It's actually more scary by quite a bit. Oh, so we get guys up here too. So one thing you notice with this game, it's very dark, but... Oh, where the hell did he go? It's very dark, but you can still see what you're doing, which is quite a massive plus. Being able to see what you're doing while it's still dark is a really solid thing for games like this. Okay, I still have those. Okay. That was a pretty solid hit.
Glad that's over.
Oh, I don't want to fight that lady. Is chick gonna turn around? Or is she gonna go straight? Okay, she went straight. I hate the fact that she went straight. This game actually introduces like a full-on real fear. It's terrifying. It really is. Okay, she's going downstairs. That's exactly what we want. I think that way that I went before is covered. Yes. Oh, these are some pretty solid shots. Thank God I'm hitting those. Oh, I can't collect those. I forgot about that. So in this game, when you start it, you actually have powers. It's not like, I guess you call it superpowers, but it's because you were connected to, I guess you call it ghost, a demon, whatever you want to call it. Which is some dude who we're learning a lot of backstory about, and he gives you the powers because he needed the body. He needed your body so he could actually fight back against the monsters and ghosts and demons and all these things. So with him using your character's body as kind of like a vessel, he gives you powers that you can use to fight off these things. But at this current moment in time, I'm not doing too many spoilers, he's not around for me to help use his powers. So at this current moment in time, all I have is my bow with 2 single arrows, my talismans, and running for my life. And that is about my only options, which is pretty solid. So why is this game such a good horror game? Well, it's the whole atmosphere. This game's so dark. Oh, and I'm playing with a cone. This game's so dark, and the creatures are absolutely terrifying. It's like Japanese horror. These creatures are absolutely terrifying, and that is a massive plus about this game. And when you have these terrifying creatures, as scary as they are, and the game as intense as it is, and it's difficult. This game is not an easy game. It's very trippy. There's lots of stuff happening. You put all that together, and it makes a pretty solid horror game. It's not like some where the entire game, in order to do anything, it's literally just puzzles.
Gotta shake them off.
Thankfully, it's not like that. Because some horror games, and this might hurt some people's feelings, games like Resident Evil, I'm not saying Resident Evil's a bad game at all. Resident Evil is a true classic in horror, survival horror. But Resident Evil's, it's different. I can't really say it's a perfect horror game. It is horror, and it's good, but it's not perfect. Because it takes away from the horror a lot. It makes you feel more like it's just an action puzzle game, and makes you feel like you're playing a game like Uncharted, which just like a little bit of a horror feel, but it's not actually scary. Because there's a difference between a game being legitimately scary and you just being scared to die and lose your file, or die and end up at your back save or whatever. Those two are very different feelings. This game gives you the actual terrifying feeling of watching a horrifying movie for your first time, which is honestly the feeling I'm more looking for if I'm playing a horror game. Whereas playing a horror game, I don't really want the feeling where it's not actually terrifying and I'm just scared to die. That's not the feeling I'm looking for. I want to be terrified. I want the game to just make me no longer want to play because I'm that scared. That's what you want when you're playing a horror game, because you get that adrenaline rush and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. And this game, like I said, it handles that perfectly. It's got the creatures, it's got the atmosphere, it's got the music. It's not overloaded with too many annoying puzzles, but it's also not easy. You can't just move along and complete everything easy like you're having a good time. No, you're gonna be struggling, which makes it a lot harder. And I'm only on normal difficulty too. There's, I believe, 2 or 3 other difficulties, and there's a DLC, which I believe I have. So being able to play all those and come with all that, and the atmosphere of how this world is, like Tokyo, an old abandoned city at night with cars all over the streets, not seeing a single person, it's pretty terrifying. The odd moments like this where you hear just the happy music. Like, I'd say one of the best things about this game is if you just sit there and you take a look and you just listen. Take a look around and just listen to the sounds. You can hear how terrifying this game actually is. You hear all the features it has, which is quite nice. So, for example, let's head to this next mission because we are missing our buddy. So we're just gonna take a moment now after I've explained a couple things, and we're just gonna listen. Here we are in the cutscene. So, as you just saw through that walk through the map, you can see how terrifying the atmosphere. It's so dead. It's empty. There's nothing there.
In the picture.
You and that grumpy old man. Sure seem to have hit it off.
This is a new part of the story I haven't seen. But anyways, try not to spoil too much.
Do
But
some rescue?
you'll see a little bit of stuff here. So now that we've discussed why I think this game is a really good horror game, and my reasoning for why this game isn't perfect is it has... See, I would want more of a full-on open-world RPG, not as... This one feels almost too closed, too... I can't find the right word, but it's not as, like... I want something kind of like Fallout.
She meant by us being
in a way.
connected? This is nuts.
So, what would I think would be the perfect horror game? See, personally, I think things like ghosts, demons, creatures, or even if you go into aliens and space and stuff, those are some of the top things to use for horror. Using things like zombies are great. If you can get them right, they can make a pretty solid horror game, but it's its own type of horror. It's different.
Inside me.
It is not the same. So, if you're gonna do solid horror, my heaviest recommendation would be to do things like ghosts, or demons, or creatures. So if you were to make a game strictly about in an open world where you experience we have to do ghost investigations, or you get hunted by ghosts, and find a story to put onto it, and then give it so that you can have certain weapons and certain things to be able to fight certain ghosts, but then make a lot of them to the point where you can't kill half of them. So when you have the fear of something you're going against that you can't beat, it makes it a lot more scary. Make sure you obviously give them terrifying designs and things like that, because if you don't, it's not going to work. And you do something like that, and just fill the game with all types of horror and Easter eggs and things like that. And make sure you keep the same type of atmosphere this game has. That you can make, I'd say, pretty much the perfect horror game. What you would be looking for, as long as you can get the atmosphere right, the setting, the lighting, all those type of things, and you can get all of that right, you can make a pretty solid horror game. I might be in trouble right now. But yes, so doing things just like throwing some zombies or creatures in there and making it dark and giving you some guns to fight them, it's fun. It's not horror. It's not to the extent you'd want.
Is he here?
So that's what I think. That's my take. Everyone's got different opinions, so it's cool if you disagree at all. And if you do, I'm interested in hearing opinions or anything like that down below. So, this was Ghostwire Tokyo,
They won't stop me.
and why it's almost the perfect horror game. I hope you enjoyed the video, and
I need your power.
I'll see you in the next one.